Well, guys, I think we are preparing for the most epic reveal in all of How to Get Away with Murder history. And I think that's saying a lot because you know some of these finales have been freaking incredible. But I'm expecting something huge. First of all, it's a 2-hour finale, so I'm super excited for that. But you've seen the title, so let's get into the video. This video is special. It's completely devoted to Oliver, my #1 suspect of who killed Wes. And I'm breaking this down into the top 5 reasons why Oliver has to be the killer. Let's go with number 5. So obviously number 1 is going to be the most convincing clue. But number 5 is that Oliver is a disposable character. Now we know this show isn't afraid of offing big characters, important characters. They killed Wes. I do believe that he's actually dead. And so that's not really an issue. But after killing a big character like Wes, whoever killed Wes essentially will probably be off the show. And I think there's a couple of scenarios here. They either go to jail for life, someone kills them after they find out they killed Wes, or they kill themselves from the guilt or whatever, fear of going to jail. I don't see this person continuing whatever role they have on the show after that reveal. So losing Oliver is not going to change the show at all. I mean, it won't impact the show like Wes. And if he ends up being the killer, I don't even think we'll see him a lot in flashbacks, maybe some to show us how he was able to trick all of us. I do believe Oliver has been sinister from the beginning. I don't think that I really think that he set out. I think he was purposely trying to get involved with Annalise and the people surrounding her. I do think he has genuine feelings for Connor, and I don't think he expected to have that. But I could be wrong about that too. That could be all part of his game. But I definitely think that he was sent, or he himself sought out Annalise on purpose, and that he has never been a person who has a genuine interest, a genuine, good heart in this situation. Like, I feel like he's been in place in this show for a reason. All right, so number 4, we know nothing about him. Now, we've talked about this before, but we literally have met none of his family, none of his friends. I couldn't even tell you where is he from. Is he from Pennsylvania? Is he from somewhere else? There may be little tidbits of information he's given us throughout the series that I've forgotten and, about his past, but I really don't remember it. When I brought this up before, I didn't see a lot of information and feedback from you guys saying like, wait, we met so-and-so, or he talked about this person. Pretty much you guys were feeling the same way that I did, that we know nothing about his past. That's really shady to me. Is his name even really Oliver? I don't know. I think there's a couple of things he could be connected to. This is also something I mentioned before, but again, he is here for a reason. He has a plan, he has a purpose, and I firmly believe he's connected to one of the criminal cases Annalise was connected to in the past. But I don't have enough information to say specifically which one, but I think that will also be revealed in the finale, or at least I hope so. Part of me thinks he could be tied into the Mahonies somehow. The Mahonies were brought up yet again in this week's episode, talking about the DNA test to find out, was Wes actually their father's son? Which, yes, he is. And it was brought up again about how Annalise is afraid of the Mahonies because they killed her baby, essentially. So we're keeping that topic relevant, okay? So is he connected to them? Is he related to them? Was he hired by them? Sure, any of those possibilities. Another great possibility that I cannot take credit for, a viewer by the name of Tadia said that maybe he is connected or was hired by Hannah. Hannah is Sam's sister. If you remember, in this second half of the season, she was briefly mentioned by Annalise, and she was mentioned in the first half of the season. We've met her before. She's not a major character by any means, but she is someone who definitely wants revenge. She feels as if Annalise killed Sam, even though we know that's not true. But hey, look who died. The person who killed Sam. Did she know who killed Sam? Did Oliver tell her? Did somebody tell her? What's up with that? That's a little bit weird, right? I think that was very observant, and again, it wasn't my theory, but we had that little clue thrown out there. You've watched this show as long as I have. You know they throw out clues. When they make a reveal, whether it's Wes under the sheet, whether it's Wes killing Sam, all of this stuff, if you go back, they've given you clues, and I think we've been able to figure it out for the most part. So it's not like it's going to be a reveal, I don't think, that we're like, oh my God, really? Like, this person's insane? Well, I don't buy the Laurel killed Wes theory, because I don't think it's going to be like, oh my God, she's actually a psycho person, I think they've given us these Oliver clues all throughout his time being here. Number 3, he approached Annalise for this job. He didn't even just approach her. He begged, He pleaded. Connor told him, don't do this. You don't want to get involved in this lifestyle, in this life of crime. I don't want you to get into this corrupt situation. It's not good for you. He didn't care. You know, I mean, it's a little weird when you think about it, especially with everything else going on. Like, he was determined to work for Annalise, to get in this inner circle, to be close to her, to find out what's going on with her. Who does that? People who are sent to spy on this person, people who are sent to destroy her. Again, what's his motivation for killing Wes? A lot of things. If he's connected to the Mahonies or to Hannah, there's great reason there. I mean, the Mahonies are probably thinking that Wes killed, you know, the Mahoney son thinks that Wes killed his dad, right? Great motive there to off Wes. As Oliver got to know everyone, he knew how much Wes meant to Annalise. So there's a lot of different scenarios in play here, but not only does he destroy her emotionally by killing the person who she cared about more than anyone else really in her life now, but he also can take her down for the murder at the same time and get himself off the hook. So it was a perfect scenario. He's hoping she's in jail for the rest of her life, dealing with these terrible emotions because maybe she's partly to blame because Wes got into the situation where he was murdered because she should have kept him out of this life of crime, basically. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Oliver turned on Connor. Now, in this last episode, everyone was turning on Connor pretty much. But the last person you would think to turn on Connor would be his own boyfriend, the person who cares about him more than anyone else that we know on this show. But towards the end of this week's episode, he started, you know, pretty much pointing the finger at him, like, wait a minute, you use Thomas's cell phone to check your voice messages. And yes, I admit that's shady, but the entire point of this week's episode was to make you think that Connor was the killer, and Connor is not the killer. We should be looking elsewhere. But once he started really pointing it out, he was dead serious. He was like, you're the one who's doing this. You're the one behind it. That's classic killer behavior. Watch any horror movie, watch any horror show. Go back and look near the end when we're getting close to the reveal, and it's usually between two people who we've been told that one of them is the killer, or we're supposed to believe that one's the killer. The one who is calling them the killer, who looks innocent, is the killer. Classic. I mean, there's a lot of themes that carry over. You guys watch a lot of horror movies, horror shows. You see similar themes, and I saw that as a huge theme, a huge clue. But the number one reason why Oliver is the killer, and this was delivered in this week's episode, very subtle, very subtle. I know at least one of you, I can't remember your name, but I know you saw it in the comments. Juan Carlos, I believe, commented about this after I said on Twitter, there was a hidden clue. Did anyone catch it? Juan Carlos caught it. Maybe you caught it and you haven't told me yet. But here goes. So we know in this episode that Annalise asked Oliver to leak that information out to the media about everything that was going on with the ADA, because she had been having them investigate her, and of course that made her look really bad, and I think that resulted in her losing her job and everything. But somebody told that she was behind the leaking of this information to the press. So who knew that she was going to leak this information to the press? If you watched my reaction video, we also knew from this episode that Connor found out from Oliver that he hacked, or he was the one who got the leak out, okay? So I immediately thought, oh my God, Connor's a rat. But again, this whole episode this season, or this week, was supposed to make Connor look like the killer. They did everything they could to make you look at Connor and to make you not look at Oliver. So I immediately I fell for their trick. I fell for Connor. I said he was the one that told that she wanted that leaked. 3 people knew about that leak, okay? This gives me chills just thinking about it. Annalise knew because she wanted it leaked. Oliver knew because she asked him to leak it. And Connor knew because Oliver told him. Annalise is not going to tell on herself. She was shocked when she got that phone call. This is not a setup. Connor didn't do it because he's the scapegoat here. He's our red herring. Who's the third person who knew about this? Oliver. Oliver did it in order to stab her in the back, to take her down for the murder that he committed. And I think that is when I saw it, I knew it right off. As soon as we went to commercial, I was like, oh my God. At first I fell for it. I processed it. I was like, oh my God, that's it. I have never been more sure. It's him. It's Oliver. So now, a couple things I want to ask you guys that I honestly don't have a clear theory on, and I want to know what you guys think in the comments. We still have some other questions I'm hoping will be answered. I don't believe that all of the different things we need to figure out, who is the snitch, who burned down the house, who killed Wes, I don't think Oliver or any other person is, just one person answers all of those questions. So who do you think is the snitch? I do think it's a great possibility that Connor could be the snitch, okay? We still have to tie up some loose ends here. We saw him trying to revive Wes, so he never told anyone what happened there. I don't know if he feels guilty that he tried to save him and he couldn't. I don't think he's the reason Wes was laying on the ground. Someone killed Wes before the fire started. Did that same someone start the fire to cover up the murder they had just done? I don't know. Is that someone different? Were they connected? Were they working together? I really don't know. I'm wanting to know what you think about that. Also, we found out last week or this week that he was cremated. So who has the resources to get a body cremated? Who has the resources to move a body? We found out that it was the ADA, but was that her own doing? Why is she doing that? Was she working with Oliver? What's the point here? I mean, really moving the body hurts her case against Annalise. So was she doing that to help someone to protect the real killer? Is she involved in this? What's up with that? You may want to ask me, what about Maggie, who was my #1 suspect? Have I let her off the hook? No, I haven't. I still think something's up with her. I do think we'll see her in the finale. I still think she could be related to ADA. Not really thinking she's our killer now. If she got revealed as the killer, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm not really thinking that they're going to go that way now. Something's not right with her, though, and I do think that the whole thing about her meeting Wes and wanting to be with Wes was also part of a setup. And lastly, the big question that is very hard to answer, and I think maybe it's so hard to answer because we haven't met this person, but who was Wes calling from the car? The person that he referred to as Christoph, the person in the phone as in case of emergency. I don't know. I mean, personally, I've always thought he was talking to a family member that we didn't know that he was in contact with from the past because no one else calls him Christoph. I still don't really believe he was talking to Eve. She hasn't been a factor in the show for a while. Not even sure if we'll see her on the show again. But I'm just curious to see what you guys think about that. So anyway, I really cannot wait for the finale. I just have the highest of hopes. Apparently Peter Nowalk has said that he is definitely dead. So the only thing that was really going to crush me was that if they tried to make him alive or said he had a twin or something. So I don't think we're going there. But anyway, if you don't agree with me, that's completely fine. I would love to hear your theory. If you don't think Oliver did it, let me know down below who you think killed Wes and why. If you do agree with me, but you think he did it for other reasons or you think it worked out differently, let me know. Who do you think is the snitch? Who burned down the house? Did Oliver do all of it? Did somebody else do all of it? Who was Wes talking to on the phone? There's a lot of questions. I don't have all the answers, but I do strongly believe that Oliver is our man. I've been waiting on him to be revealed as Sinister for a really long time. And you know, I just feel like I don't think there's any other way he's not up to something. I'm sorry, I can't buy it anymore. I don't think he's a good guy. I'm sorry. You know, he does seem to be a good guy. I think he's acting. Sorry. If he was really that way, I like him. I know some of you are diehard Oliver fans, but I've just got to be real with you. I definitely think I've always thought they were going there, and I think now is the time. So if you're new here or if you've been watching and haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe. Definitely you do want to check out my reaction. I will have that up after the finale. So it'll probably be pretty long since this is a 2-hour finale. And I plan on having a long live chat unless it turns out that the finale is super lame. But even then we'll probably be angry and want to chat. So we'll chat the next day, so hopefully you can make it to that. All of that schedule is down below. And if you enjoyed my theory and want to see more theory videos on shows in the future, thumbs up this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm so excited. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Kelly TV. I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of the Kelly TV family. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter so you can keep up with all I'm doing.